Good evening, everyone. So, it has been a recurring topic between my high school friends and I, specifically Murphy, Christina, Cesar, and Mimi. How no one from our batch was tapped to become a guest speaker in one of SGA's graduation rites. At least in the past 10 years. We ask ourselves, aren't we successful enough? Aren't we qualified enough to talk in front of you? So, when I received the call, when Mama called me that Ma'am Volante reached out, if I want to speak before you today, I was actually a bit torn and confused. As mentioned earlier, I didn't graduate as class valedictorian. I was just first honorable mention. But still, you can still call me as part of the creme de la creme of class of 2007. I took on this opportunity to show you that there is more to life than honors and medals, and also to talk about life after SGA. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Edsel Banjola, our dear principal, Sister Maria Lucille Nara, Dominican School Superintendent and our very own principal back in the day, Dr. Mercy Espia, our PTA President, and our Alumni Association President who has been here with SGA for almost more than a decade, Mr. Jose Barcelo, proud parents, and above all, the exceptional graduates of St. Joseph Academy, class of 2024. Back in the day, ako man ang gapungko dyan, or the other way around. Okay? During our time, wala pa covered gym nga dyan. We have to do our graduation rites dito sa piyak na side with a makeshift stage, and then mapulad logit sa adlaw to really go through the graduation rites. Now, I stand here before you, feeling honored and a bit sentimental. So, this day is all about you. You will be finally reaping the fruits of your late-night study sessions, nerve-wracking exams, additional hours, put on extracurricular activities to get high grades, and build up a strong enough portfolio in preparation for college. So give yourself a well-deserved pat in the back. Every youngster considers it a wonderful privilege to be able to attend SGA for their education. This is where you receive Christ-centered lessons, paired with more focused instructions in a welcoming classroom setting. Diba? Halog ka mo sa classroom compared to the other schools. Overseen by enthusiastic and knowledgeable teachers. Like you, I was fortunate enough to attend SGA for my formative years. Thanks to my dear parents who worked really hard to send all three of us to a private school, despite our meager household income. As we celebrate your achievements, let us acknowledge the invaluable support and guidance you have received along the way, to your dedicated educators who have nurtured your minds and kindled your flames of curiosity within you. You owe them a debt of gratitude. To the loving families who have stood by your side, offering unwavering encouragement and love and financial support, do extend your deepest appreciation. And to the friends who have shared laughter, tears, and countless memories, thank them for enriching this journey with their presence. The graduation ceremonies this afternoon will have as its subject Dominican graduates empowering change through shared values. I could spend all afternoon listing the quality of graduates and alumni that SGA has produced over the past 65 years. Some of whom I've shared SGA's core values with, especially during the past 2 years. We have our own GC. The drive to spread the truth and being compassionate to others. The list is endless and includes medical experts, as shown by your keynote speaker earlier, Dr. Lorene Bernardo Magwad. We have doctors, nurses, dentists, lawyers, educators, engineers, accountants as myself, business people, and even politicians. Duro pa da, so hindi ko pag-enumerate tanan. Many of them are thriving both domestically and abroad. If you all work hard and put in the necessary effort, this is the kind of future that is waiting for you all. Although I might say there may be a generational gap here. I graduated 17 years ago. Some of you may not even be born, but I'm a certified millennial tita, and you all being Gen Zs. But I'll try my best to be relatable. I'm on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. You have the internet, AI even these days, where you can generate a whole report or a thesis without having to spend hours reading and understanding the topic. Just type in the keywords. What we have back in the day were encyclopedias and printed books and references. We even have to go to San Jose just to access the internet. That in itself is a huge disconnect. We documented our memories using new film cameras or bulky Nokia phones with as little as 2 megapixels, while you have your iPhones or Android phones with at least 20 megapixels and 128 gigs or 1 terabyte memory. You also live in a time where you can go easily viral and make a living by making content, again, on TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. But despite said generational gap, I still would like to share the decisions I made and the steps I took to reach where I am today. I actually followed every boomer and millennials' formula to success. At least, this was what was ingrained in me as early as grade school. The first step is, of course, to really do well in high school. Although I myself, admittedly, have become a little chill, thinking I'm inherently smart and don't have to study religiously to be on the top of class, while some of my teachers ginahambal da kanubon kay aram daa garing mura gatoon. So those 4 years were actually peak. I balanced it out by participating on extracurricular activities with being the editor-in-chief of the school paper as my favorite role. I barely studied, but still made it to top 3 by senior year. And luckily, I was able to build a good enough credentials for the next step. That is passing the college admission test, which by now, majority of you have taken. Along the way, also, lifelong friendships were made. As mentioned earlier, I'm still friends with my high school and elementary friends, specifically Murphy, Mimi, who's managing Tasty Bites. We regularly meet every quarter to catch up on each other's yuppie, city, and domesticated lives. Majority of us, though, don't have our own families. We're still basically single. And also, some crushes and light heartbreaks were also dealt with during high school. After all that, the next step is to get admitted to a reputable university, taking up a practical course. Again, I grew up with the mindset that UP or any Big Four university will be a sure gateway to getting in the country's top companies. With that being said, I targeted UP, being a state university, as it's the most feasible for us given our financial capacity. I did not even bother taking entrance exams for the private universities in Iloilo. I was so confident that I'll get in UP. I luckily passed the dreaded UPCAT for political science in UP Diliman and computer science in the Visayas campuses. But luckily, an accountancy slot eventually opened up. While most of my batches during that time took up nursing because it's where the money is. But you have to spend years being underpaid and getting experience before being able to go to abroad. So I opted to take the more practical approach. Take up accountancy, where I can get a decent paying job right after graduation and passing the board exam, where I can also start living independently. In an ideal world though, and some of you will have the privilege of, each of us would have taken up a course which we are passionate about. In my experience, that would have been culinary arts, but it's an expensive course and not a decent paying job. So, I decided on taking up accountancy, and I'm still happy now. College was a humbling experience. From being part of the creme de la creme, I was navigating amongst the best of the best. Valedictorians, salutatorians, honor students from the best schools across the country. That is what awaits you when you come to college. I also I was hit with culture shock that I'm practically an ordinary student, a nobody in UP. I also brought with me my easy-go-lucky ways during the early days of college. I can still remember coming home, crying, traumatized, when I failed my first exam, since this was my first time experiencing failure in my 17 years of existence. Up to this day, I still remember the different psychological theories and defense mechanisms which caused me to fail. Yes, college can be quite overwhelming, especially when you're taking up a quota course. You just need to find that balance on distributing your efforts and time between major and minor subjects, and some semblance of social life. Go out with your friends, party in Smallville if you end up in Iloilo, and maybe join some extracurricular activities. I lay load on this since I just really want to graduate on time and pass the boards and start working. After graduation, I was fortunate enough, again, credits to my dear parents, to be sent to Manila to review for the CPA board exams. I was provided for and given all the opportunities so I can focus on the review, and was super pressured because, as mentioned by Ma'am Bulante earlier, I followed my dad's footsteps. And he did that with less ideal review conditions. Luckily, I passed on my first take. All those sleepless nights and anxiety have finally paid off. And finally, the last step of my 3 milestone goal was to get hired in the country's #1 audit firm, SGV & Co. As soon as the company board exam, the CPA board exams results were released, there was a job offering waiting for us without us having to apply. They weren't kidding when they said that once you graduate from UP, the jobs will find you without having you to apply for it. I know this path was very cliche or stereotypical for every CPA, SGV being the best training ground to get credentials, potential clients, or employers. But the pay was super low and work-life balance was not in the books at all, especially during the busy season. One would think though that being a CPA would mean having to do accounting or finance job. But this is where I discovered that there is more to the CPA life than accounting and bookkeeping. With my young and ideal mind, and with the thirst for continuous growth and learning, I decided to take the audit path. Unlike the usual accounting and finance job, audit allowed me to navigate different fields of the corporate world and get a more holistic view of how businesses operate. This is where I learned the art of compromise. Yes, accounting may not be my passion, but I discovered that I can still have fun while working by joining an industry which I'm really interested in, and that is the hospitality and tourism. It's a job that lets me live my lifestyle, gets me to places occasionally, pay for my bills and mortgage, and travel while staying in the country. But again, getting a job that pays well isn't really the end goal here. I've tried working for one of the most coveted companies in the country, San Miguel, but the culture and the values that was ingrained to me by SGA and UP were just not aligned. So I always found myself going back to my current company, which values leadership, integrity, vision, excellence, and malasakit, all of which are somewhat aligned with SGA's core values of adherence to the truth, commitment to service, and compassion to others. You too would probably go through all of this in the next years. Or maybe you'll take the creator or freelancer route. But what you need to remember is all those failures, heartbreaks, and challenges are what will set you up for life. You'll be confused and torn as what you really want to pursue. I still am learning up to this day. I still don't know what I want to pursue in the long run. I still question myself. Should I stay in this country or should I pursue greener pastures abroad? I guess it's something I'll continue to ponder on in the next months or years. Embrace all these learnings and don't let it hold you back, because at the end of the day, you'll come out stronger. I might come off as a little old school by emphasizing that education is the key to success, because it's not just that. But with the current state of our country, having good credentials is still a sure way to get into a stable company. Yes, you have the option, like you can go the content creation route, the freelancer route, or the entrepreneurial route. But one thing I've learned throughout the years is that those other paths would entail a lot of luck and resources and perfect timing. So whatever is presented your way, go grab it and always do your best. Never settle for mediocrity. Celebrate small wins. Treat yourself to a nice meal or a drink or a trip. Buy yourself a little trinket after passing an exam or presenting a successful case study or finishing a project. Keep yourself grounded and don't forget to look back. Be grateful to your parents, teachers, friends, and all those who supported and continuously support you as you traverse in this journey of life. Each of us will pursue our own path in our own pace. So if you feel like you're being left out, just remember that there is something great awaiting you as long as you work hard for it. So whatever path you choose, whatever dream you decide to pursue, let your journey be guided by passion, fueled by perseverance, and illuminated by the light of kindness and truth. And finally, never forget the importance of gratitude. Take a moment each day to pause, to reflect, to appreciate the blessings that surround you. For it's in cultivating an attitude of gratitude that we find true fulfillment, true happiness. As you embark on this new chapter of your lives, know that the world awaits your brilliance, your creativity, your boundless potential. So go forth, class of 2024, and set the world ablaze with your passion, your purpose, and your unwavering commitment to making a difference. Again, congratulations, dear graduates. The journey ahead may be daunting, but I have every confidence that you will rise to the challenge and soar to even greater heights. The future belongs to you. Make it extraordinary. Padayon.
Thank you so much, Miss Angelique Joy.